Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Women of Community Banking podcast. Again, we've got Ali with us today. Hi Ali, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for having me today.
Absolute pleasure, Ali. This is a platform for women leaders to come and share their journeys, come and share their stories. And you've been kind enough to respond to two random guys over LinkedIn who reached out to you for being on a random podcast. So this is very, very kind of you. We are glad, we're elated to have you, right? Absolutely. Quick introduction. Who is Ali? I think, she does not need an introduction. She is quite popular in the credit union ecosystem, but still a quick one. So Ali is the Chief Experience Officer of IQ Credit Union. She's been there for almost of my age, right?
Thank you.
She's been there for almost 30 years now driving experience for this large credit union based in West Coast. So I mean, Ali, I don't want to spend time in introducing you because that will be a laundry list. So I thought of cutting it out and uh, giving the mic back to you. Right? If you want to add something, feel free to add. Otherwise, I'll go on my questions.
Perfect. Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me. Like you said, I've spent nearly 3 decades in the credit union movement, and so this journey has really shaped um, just like a deep commitment to service, and that's like what brings me passion. I started as a frontline employee at the credit union. I've worked my way through various um, roles at the credit union and eventually becoming the chief experience officer. So today I get to partner with retail delivery, our community impact teams, contact centers, our investment and insurance, and then we get to serve about over 100,000 members across multiple channels. So a big part of the transformation for IQ, I've been able to be a part of it, transforming from 200 million to now 2 billion. And it's been a privilege to be part of several initiatives that have strengthened and deepened our relationships with our communities that we get to serve.
I'm sure. Let's talk about your journey, right? I mean, you've got an illustrious journey of 30 years being one of the pioneers of the movement, right? So what has been your journey so far?
Well, my path wasn't like a direct straight line. I would say it was built on resilience, mentorship, adaptability. I really, early on, I didn't think I was going to be set out to become an executive, but I knew I wanted to make an impact. And so I did not take the traditional path. I don't have a college degree. Like I said, started off as a teller and worked my way up. And
Mhm.
so over the years, I faced lots of challenges. I would say navigating personal and professional challenges, whether it was domestic violence, imposter syndrome, just to professional things of balancing innovation, but still keeping with tradition. So I think part of my journey, one of the things that I've learned the most is it isn't about titles. It's really about influence and service. So
Yep.
whether you're leading a team of 2 people or you're leading a team of 200, it's really about how you show up and the relationships that you build to define your brand. And I think that's what's really important to me is my
Hmm.
brand.
Do you know, unknowingly, you touched upon so many important perspectives and facets. You're like just throwing it here and there. So let's try to deep dive on that, right? Obviously, leading experience for a large trade union that takes a lot of effort. Uh, I keep on telling almost to everyone that for you guys, 24 hours is not enough. I mean, you're a bunch of things you need to keep the bulb on every single time. So what keeps you going, Ali?
So what really keeps me going is like what I said, the reason why I do this. It's about impact, right? Making a difference. And so we always speak to credit unions or the mission is people helping people. We're more than a financial institution. We're about empowering others. We're about leading with a purpose. And so every decision that we get to make is for a greater mission. And so the the communities that we get to serve and the opportunities that we're given being their local credit union, that's what keeps me going. And of course, like the employees, you create opportunities so that workforce management for
Yep.
employees to continue to grow and then to also have that impact on those communities that we
Mhm.
get to call home, right? We
Impact.
live in those
Yes.
communities.
Absolutely right. So a follow up to the previous question of you do because its impact that is, I would say, the ikigai, the Japanese term. I mean, it's what your ikigai is, right? But I mean, to reform or restructure the question, I mean, everyone asks you, what do you do? But I want to ask you, why do you do? Is it just impact or something else?
I think it's for me personally. Like, are you asking like why do I do what I do?
Yes, exactly. Correct.
I think a lot of it, like, and I think we'll get there, is mentorship, right? You look at, I am a woman and I am Asian, and so I get to be a role model, not just for my children, but for aspiring women leaders that you don't have to take a traditional path to achieve a C level position. You can own your seat at the table, have confidence. You can surround yourself with the right mentors and advocates. And so I think it not only is it to create community impact, to enhance people's financial well-being, but also to be a role
Mhm.
model for others.
I mean, that is so well relatable. I being Asian, I understand the same thing which you have gone through, absolutely. And obviously, I would say you have not walked the journey alone because mentorship is very important, right? Do you want to talk about, Ali, why do you think mentorship is so important and how has it helped you, uh, I would say, traverse your journey so far at IQ?
Yes, mentorship is extremely important. And I think one of the things that I always talk to people about regarding mentorship is you always have those mentors that you go to that make you feel good, right? Because you know they're going to agree with you. And then you have those mentors that are actually going to give you that constructive criticism and what you need to hear to create your brand. Because if you want to go here, right, but you're not willing to be vulnerable, take constructive criticism, be open to impact, have a open mindset, right?
Yep, yep, yep.
You're going to always be your own barrier, right? And
Yep.
so finding the right mentor is important, and I think it's you seeking out that mentor, right? Because it's important for you to have a certain connection
Mhm.
with them because you to grow, you have to be vulnerable. And so, what I always tell people when looking at mentorship is get out of your comfort zone, right? Get out of that space where you feel at ease because that's when you're challenging yourself.
Okay, that's very much well taken, right? And obviously, you might, not you might, you will have like thousands of nuggets to share. There are a lot of aspiring female leaders, as you know, right, who want to walk up, not the ladder. The ladder is a very wrong word to use, but want to progress in their careers, right? Starting from that being a teller to becoming a manager to becoming VP to C level. I mean, I have a lot of friends across all career tracks, all career stages. So, do you want to share any advice, I mean, to aspiring female leaders specifically? Because again, uh, we might talk about that there's a lot of inclusion right now, a lot of people, a lot of women leaders in the ecosystem. But if we do the actual math, right, there are still hardly women leaders at C levels of large credit unions. You can find women leaders at relatively smaller credit unions, but credit unions of size 1 billion plus or 2 billion plus. I still hardly find a lot of them. So if you want to share some advice for aspiring female leaders, that will be amazing.
Yes. So what I always tell female leaders is say yes. When you're progressing, like you said, whether you're climbing the ladder or advancing in your career, whatever that looks like for your path. Oh, in the beginning, you want to say yes. Say yes to everything. Get involved. I always tell people whatever's on the bottom of your list, put it at the top because the things that is at your bottom or the things that are making you uncomfortable, and
Exactly.
they're scary, right? And so if you put those at the top, make time for yourself. So we calendar everything, right? We calendar this podcast. So if you don't make the time for yourself, you're never going to be developing yourself. You're always taking care of other people.
Exactly.
And I always say embrace the opportunity to take up space. I think, like you said, there still is lots of room for growth for women in leadership. And
Exactly.
sometimes it's either that imposter syndrome or not feeling worthy enough to have a seat at the table, but actually taking those opportunities and taking up that space.
Absolutely. That dovetails into the section of the podcast where we talk about your experience and success stories, right? So obviously you'll have like umpteen number of success stories at IQ. I've been spent like decades over there. So do you want to share? And again, this podcast is not about just sharing success stories, but also sharing about failures, about experiences, about anything that you want to share, right? I want to ask you about, do you want to share a few success stories or even failures? That's absolutely okay. We celebrate failures here, right? You want to share any of those, that will be fantastic.
So let's share where it's like an opportunity, right? And so I would say less failures and just more opportunities for growth, right? And so through my journey, um, like I said, I've held 13 different positions here at the credit union, and none of
Wow.
them were like just handed to me on a silver platter. At one point, I was trying to get into management and was denied 3 different times in 3 different interviews spanning a 3 year period, right? And so a lot of it is timing, and a lot of it goes back to gaining feedback that's relevant, that's tangible, that you can stick onto and change whatever perception is out there that you need to
Hmm.
change
Hmm.
or educate yourself wherever that looks like. But a
Hmm.
lot of it, I look back and I don't look at it as a failure. I look at it, that wasn't my time. Um, and timing is imperative too, right? I
Very
think
important.
maturity comes
Yes.
into factor, emotional intelligence comes into factor in those things. So I always tell people if you have a goal and you have the right mentorship and the right mindset, don't give up on those things. Just find out, do I have the right support? Do I have the right
Hmm.
tools? And
Hmm.
am I holding up the mirror and actually looking at myself too? Of what things, it can't be everybody else's fault. It's sometimes you got to look within. When I look at successes at the credit union, we could have a whole podcast of them. So it's hard just to keep a few. But a lot of the things that
For
is the
sure.
backbone for credit unions is our community impact. And
Absolutely.
one of the things that we're super proud of is our financial education program. If you
Absolutely.
look at all the development issues that we're
Hmm.
facing today, and you
Hmm.
look at financial literacy, that's a huge
Hmm.
lever that you can pull that
Yep.
can take effect and have an effect on all those other ones. So we
Hmm.
have a robust 6 campus branch program in high
Hmm.
schools. We will have hands-on reality fairs. And then, like I said, we have about 50 experienced staff that are FICEP certified, ready and equipped to provide that
Yeah,
next financial guidance. I
exactly.
would say that would be one of our big successes. And then another one is the way that we give back to our communities. We have about 36 leaders serving on 72 boards. And
Hmm.
so I'm fortunate enough to be on the board of Elevate Oregon, and it supports initiatives that provide mentorships and educational opportunities for at
Hmm.
risk youth. So
Hmm.
all of those things intertwined shows that we're really here and giving back as a
Hmm.
nonprofit to our community.
Absolutely. So, Ali, if I want to not summarize, take a couple of high points, I think your journey is about perseverance. I mean, being denied 3 times in a row on a seat at the management and then still sticking around. I think that's what I think people like us, we need to learn that good things take time, right?
Yes.
That's so important.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Uh, Now, a very relevant question, a very relevant topic to what you do at the credit union right now. I mean, I keep on screaming at the top of my voice. Every credit union exec I meet, guys, I am a zillennial. I'm not a Gen, I mean, I'm almost a Gen Z, right? Now, I wake up in the morning, looking at TikTok or Instagram. That's who we are, right? I mean, all right. I mean, I still don't do Snapchat. I used to do Snapchat to realize that now I'm 30. I should give up on Snapchat. So this is like too much. Let me not do it. So the point is that we, right, our generation in 30s or in 20s, we are not quote unquote loyal to a financial institution. We crave for experience. We crave for convenience, right? I mean, for us, maybe a financial institution is somewhere where my payments can happen the quickest. I mean, I don't want any mess up with my payments happening. It should be like, fractions of seconds, right? So experience is the key. Long story short, experience is the key, right? And I quote this number every single time that Chase spends $15 billion every year on technology. That's possibly the set size of one of the top 20 credit unions that we have in the country, right? The top 10 size is 18 billion. So it's an insurmountable amount, right? We can't even think of spending 15 million, right, on technology spend. So that's like extreme. Exactly. So how do you, I mean, yeah, I mean, compete is not a wrong word to use because again, you're competing against the big banks and the fintechs and the neo banks of the world, right? So with this amount of disproportionate spend that goes on to in technology and experience for a large bank versus your credit union, because I'm sure within the Washington state itself, I won't name them, but there are large players who compete with you neck to neck on their woods, right? So how do you ensure that as consumer experience remains sleek, you're growing, you're getting members who are young, who are getting members who are meaningful and have a, I would say in a lack of better words, who have decent enough lifetime value because I mean, we are all up for the mission, but at the end of the day, mission is important, but running cash flow positive business is important. Unless we do that, we won't be able to serve our members, right? So, with all this constraint, how do you make it work? And experience is such an important layer.
Yeah, so it's a huge balance, right? And so you want to make sure that you can't, well, first, you can't make everybody happy, right? And so you have to find that niche. And so it's really important, like when you look at if you are having this financial supermarket, do you have the right products, right, for the demographics that you're serving or that you want to serve? And so I think product mix is really important. Because we can talk about like rates and all the things. You can drive rates and offer the highest paying CD special, but are those members going to be loyal to you, right? Probably not. And so you want to draw in members that are going to be loyal based on the products that you're serving and because of the cause and the work
Mhm,
that you're
mhm,
doing in those communities. But
mhm.
also, like you said, you're here to grow revenue, decrease expense, and grow your
Exactly,
membership, right? At
exactly,
the end of the
exactly.
day. And so embracing technology, you have to embrace what AI is coming, right? I feel like if you don't embrace AI, you're going to be left behind.
Yeah,
Is
so
offering, and not just in like the credit union space and the aspect of products, but also like you're saying, this new workforce that's coming into your place. You have to be able, they're looking for certain tools and technology to use as well, right? They don't want
exactly.
outdated systems where they're just like, why are we so behind the times when I can do XYZ on my cell phone? So I think it's like it's seamless banking, right? Easy banking, but it's also personalized at the same time because you want to be cared for, right? You just said like I don't want you messing up on my deposits, my payments. I want all that's done to be quick, but I also want you to give me advice as well that
So,
is personalized to me, not just to the general public. So I think
mhm.
that's what's really important as well. Technology is advancing the personal relationships. I think that's always going to be at the heart of the banking.
Oh, yes. I mean, any banking relationship without personalization and personal relationship, I don't think that goes very well, right? I mean, at the end of the day, again, if I want to get a mortgage, I would still want to walk up to a branch and talk about it, right? I mean, for major life, major life events, that remains still the precursor. And kudos to credit unions who are doing it for years, who are making banking. I would say, you credit unions make banking safe, make banking meaningful for a lot of us. I mean, to ask about me, right? I mean, I came to this country a few years back. I'm an Asian, I'm an Indian. There was not a single bank who gave me a credit card for the first 4 months because I had thin file. It was credit unions who helped me out, right? So what you're doing for the ecosystem, Ali, this is, I mean, there's no question about it, right? But experience also needs to be thought about, and I'm sure, and I mean, not only sure, like a lot of our partners in the ecosystem, fintechs to NCUA to to America's credit union. All of us are working towards the same mission, of helping people. Absolutely. Uh, Now, overarching question of this year, right? I'll ask you same question, but for two different landscapes. One, sitting on IQ, right? Wearing the lens of running experience for IQ. One is how does 2025 look like for IQ? That's one question. And second is and what are your 2 cents about the entire credit union ecosystem for 2025?
All right, so the first one, I'm looking forward to 2025. I think that what's exciting for IQ is we're going into finalizing our phase two of our strategy and heading into our next phase. And that's all about scalability, right? We've done a lot in these last 3 years when it comes to creating efficiencies with processes, making sure we have the right technology. And now it's like, let's go, right? Now we can put it into place, get our people working at that higher level, engaging, whether it's adoption of AI and some software that we're implementing, or
Exactly.
just embracing the environment that we're in, right? It's an environment of uncertainty, and I think that's where credit unions
Yes.
can step up
Mm-hmm.
and know that, like you were saying, your money is safe with us. We're here for you. And we're still on the same mission. Nothing's changed just because the environment's changed.
Sorry, this was a very well-rounded interview. This show is again about sharing journeys of women leaders of credit unions and community banks, and this episode was not it's nothing different. It was amazing, and again, thank you, Ali, for spending your time with us today. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been a joy.
Abs- Absolutely.